Good morning, everybody. You know, it just dawned on me that a lot of times I'm screwing around. By the way, excuse my voice, I have laryngitis. I'm screwing around doing artsy fartsy things at my home. And it dawned on me last night as I'm like several steps into starting a planted tank that I should probably document some of this. So I want to walk you through what I'm doing with my planted tank and how far it's been, how it's been going so far. I probably got the tank about a month ago. It's a 50-gallon tank. I got it off the marketplace. Let me turn you around. It's a nice 50-gallon tank, and I have a vision, So I wanted something custom. So these rocks here I got from my local fish store. If I look down in here, they're just rocks that I glued together using aquarium glue. There is such a thing. The first thing that I did was I got out in my garden some rocks that I could use to separate my lagoon area from my planted grass. And they're just the Mexican pebbles that you see in a lot of gardens. They're the gray ones. They're smooth and kind of rounded. And I went all along the edge of my tank, creating a space that I could block off for sand because I didn't want it to all be grass. Then as I was shopping for grass, I noticed that they had regular grass, it reminds me of regular grass blades. And they have this clover, they call it small leaf grass, but it's really a clover. It looks like a clover to me. And it's pretty stubby too. So I got those seeds, but before I got those seeds, I was a baller on a budget, of course, through all my projects. I always am. So I wanted to create this tower here, and I used some slate. I glued a couple pieces of slate together to make it as tall as I wanted, and I made sure a really smooth piece was on the bottom because I figured I don't want a rough piece of rock on the bottom of my glass tank. So then I glued a few pieces together, and then I started piling up these smooth, flat rocks, and some of them I glued together and some of them I didn't. Excuse me. And I ended up having some extra, but I didn't use these until after I got this piece of wood. Once I got my rocks and my wood in here, and I wanted to make sure that the wood would be weighted down, because sometimes I hear that when you put driftwood in your tank, it will want to rise up, and I don't want it to do that. So when I created this, I created around the wood so that it would hold the wood down. And then I took the extra pieces and did the same thing on this side to hold the wood down. Then I found this really cool, you see this black thing here? It goes all along the bottom of the piece of wood. I've got it tied. It's a flexible air hose. It's 48 inches, so it goes from one end all the way to the other. And I got it tied with fishing line, spider wire to the log. So that when it turns on, it'll make all kinds of bubbles going up, but there'll be a nice kind of mellow area underneath, okay? I also ended up getting a couple of them hockey puck air bubble things, and I put one here. You can't see it because the substrate was put over it, and I put one over here that you can't really see right now because the sand is over it. But it was nice to have the tank dried so that I could run those lines all the way to the corner and up the corner nice and tight, both for this end of the air hose and this end of the air hose and this bubble maker, and then this end of the air hose and this bubble maker go up this corner. So I'm pretty happy about that and how it is. I've got a heater in the back that you can't really see well because it's so foggy. But once I had my rocks, and then I put my sand in there, and then once the sand was in there, I finally got my substrate, and I went with a mud substrate that's used commonly for grass. I went for what I could afford. There's different kinds that are out there, and I put my substrate down, and then once the substrate was down, I ended up filling up the water to like just where it was over the sand. But it wasn't coming over the substrate that I was planting on. You don't want to do that because if it comes over the substrate where you're planting, you'll end up with pockets of your seeds kind of gathering in one spot. So and if there is any pockets, either add more substrate to get rid of it, like little puddles that are like poking through after you start to add a little bit of water. Get rid of it by either adding more substrate to that area or take a towel and just soak up what's lingering. It's been about, I want to say 2.5 weeks since I planted all my seeds. I sprinkled my seeds. I even sprinkled some on top of the log. And let me see if you can get a good look. It's actually starting to grow in on top of the log. So yesterday, my grandson's like, we need to start putting water in this. I want to see. And I'm like, so do I. But I was worried that, you know, my little seedlings that are still there that haven't hatched, because, man, did I tell you, I used a lot of them. I just coated the whole bottom of the area with it. I thought for sure that they were going to, like, float up to the top, or the plants were going to float up to the top. So I didn't want to add too much water, but so far, you know, just from overnight, you know, last night the water was, you know, here, so it was not all the way up to the top of the substrate. It was still like to here. So I added up to here, and then I was watching it really carefully last night, and I said, screw it, and added a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, until I got that much. And I figured it's still enough to where, low enough to where if I have to, in an emergency, remove some of this water, it's not going to be a huge pain in the butt to do so. But I am surprised to see that the seeds are still chilling down there. They have not washed up to the top. They're being held down, I'm assuming, by, you know, the grass that has grown. It's being held down. So today we're probably going to go ahead and add some more water to it. Maybe just to take the water level up to the base of the wood, because I feel like if this wood is a little bit more damp or wet, that grass that I planted on the top of the wood will have a chance to seed some more or grow some more. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to bring my water up to here, and I'll let you know what that looks like. Bye. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this so that you don't have to sit here and watch me filling up the tank all slow. All right, from the looks of it, my seedlings are still intact. There aren't any that are floating. I mean, I also did it very carefully. When I added the water, I added it to the top of the rocks very gently so that it would just trickle down as not to disrupt the substrate, you know? So I was being very careful. I still feel like I could have waited until the grass was thicker. But as long as the seeds stay in place, I think it will get thicker. And I won't be able to see through it like this. I really, really like that clover stuff. Small leaf grass, whatever they call it. And I did leave a little bit of space on the top of the log because, like I said, I'm trying to grow some grass up here. So I'm going to keep the, I got cellophane or, you know, saran wrap on the top with a bunch of holes poked all through it for air as a humidifier, you know, so it holds the moisture in there while the seedlings are growing. And I just use regular, you know, saran wrap. But yeah, it looks like the seeds that remain are intact. They're being held down by the grass. I'm not seeing any floaters at all. Just looks like nice clean water. Let's take a top view. Oh, isn't that adorable? See the side here? Oh, how cute is that? That's gonna be so cute. I hope the fish really like it. Right now I started with a tank, small one. I think that's a 30 gallon. And you know, it's been a long time since I had a fish tank, so I wanted to start off small, but now I'm graduating to this. I would like a bigger tank. However, I'm already struggling trying to reach the bottom of this thing because I'm only 5 feet tall. So I will add to the post as soon as I have some more to show you.